to Wrestling Fray. The Fray 5 with Jay Brown.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Brown again. It's good to see you again. Welcome back to the lab. I know it's been a while. I will admit to you guys, this is tough, but I told Jimmy I'll help him out, at least for this one. So let's get started. So for today's Fray 5, we are going to talk about 5 larger-than-life superstars and 5 facts about them. Now, what the 5 facts about them, 4 of them are going to be not so phenomenal facts, and 1 is going to be one great thing they did for this wrestling industry. So let's get started. Who is first? The cerebral assassin himself, the measuring stick of the WWE himself, Triple H. Yes, one of the brightest superstars in WWE history. So some not so great facts about him. 1, he got squashed at WrestleMania by the Ultimate Warrior. Yes, of course, this was still coming off the whole Madison Square Garden incident where he pretty much caught the brunt of the punishment. Yet, he hit Ultimate Warrior with a pedigree. Ultimate Warrior got up and just beat him. Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing. Pretty much a dark note in his career, so to speak. Another not so great fact about him, he lost his first world title to Vince McMahon. Yeah, I know that eventually ends up being his father-in-law and all that stuff, but still, when you look at your record will say that you lost your first world title to Vince McMahon. Not a good look. Another one, he holds one of the shortest title reigns in the century. He held the title for, I believe, 2 hours, where he defeated Randy Orton, defended against Umaga, then had to defend it again against Randy Orton later that night, and lost in the last man standing match. Of course, nothing to be ashamed about, at least he got a reign, but still, that was one of the shortest title reigns in the modern era, so to speak. Another thing, now, I guess we gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. I believe it was a 3-on-1 match around 99 or 2000 or so, and he was pinned by the Brooklyn Brawler. The jobber of all jobbers pinned Triple H. Yeah, that's definitely a dark cloud in your history. In spite of all that, one great thing about Triple H, NXT. This man single-handedly made enhancement talent into superstars. He made a development show into the third brand. He made that the program to watch. Yes, I know everybody watch Raw and SmackDown for the entertainment, but honestly, I'm not gonna say true wrestling fans, but those who know wrestlers from other industries and different styles and whatnot always turn to NXT, which is now officially a third brand, and I enjoy watching it. So that's 5 facts about Triple H. Who is next? The Rock, the most electrifying superstar ever. Anyway, 4 bad facts about The Rock. He came up short on the biggest rivalry of his career. Yes, The Rock has had some rivalries with the likes of Kurt Angle, Triple H, what have you, but the biggest rivalry of Rock's career was with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it pretty much lasted his entire career. Now, these guys had some fierce battles, and it was a great rivalry. But here's the thing, out of this entire rivalry, The Rock has only won 2 matches. One of them was an elimination match versus the WWE, then WWF versus the Invasion. And the second was their very final match at WrestleMania, which The Rock did come out strong in that match. However, when you look at the history between Rock and Austin, Austin pretty much dominated the series, hands down. Nothing to be ashamed of. Another thing, upon coming to WWE, he actually lied about his experience. He said that he was trained, and I don't think he really wrestled a day in his life. The way you see The Rock wrestle as he first steps into the WWE, that all came from his athletic ability. I remember hearing that story. If I'm wrong about that, you can correct me in the comments if you go in the comments. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's stop. Anyway, another fact. A little too many chair shots on Mick Foley. Now, it wasn't frowned upon then, but when you look at the situation nowadays with CTE and all that stuff, and the tragedy of Chris Benoit, which I saw that on Vice, that was a very good documentary. When you look at how many chair shots The Rock gave to Mankind, when you look at it nowadays, you just cringe. And yeah, that's not really a spot in history you want to look at upon yourself. Then he left WWE for Hollywood in his prime. And it's almost like when he did that, he turned his back on the fans. Honestly, when that happened, I wasn't upset because I figured, okay, it was his prerogative. But that's actually how a lot of people felt, that he just abandoned WWE to get paid. And as a result, he came back as a heel. Then beat Austin, lost to Goldberg, disappeared again. Now, one great thing about The Rock, we just mentioned the Hollywood thing. Whether he is now or he was recently, he's one of the highest paid action stars in Hollywood now. Everybody wants The Rock in their movie. Like, The Rock had by far the best transition from wrestling to Hollywood. He's done it better than anybody else so far. So that's 5 facts about The Rock. Who is next? Personally, one of my favorite wrestlers, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Man, I was crazy for Austin 316 back in the day, man. I still am. Still a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and it does pain me to give these 4 bad facts about him. Fact number 1. Upon his eventual meteoric face turn as the character Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was pinned by a jobber. Granted, it was after a Davey Boy Smith clothesline, yet and still, he was pinned by Jason Arndt, who you would probably know as Joey Abs of the Mean Street Posse back in the Attitude Era. Yeah, it's not really well known, but it still happened. Another thing, he was accused, I'm not sure if he was charged or accused of domestic abuse against his then wife, Deborah. So that is definitely not something you want to look upon. So, and another thing, he had a conflict and he left WWE due to that conflict. Now, I know we talked about The Rock leaving WWE for Hollywood, but Austin just up and disappeared, and in the same light, actually not in the same light, in the worst light, he pretty much turned his back on the fans. Here's the thing, I wasn't upset about it because I know why he did it. And I didn't want that to happen either. Yeah, I know Brock Lesnar was, the next big thing, but to just have him flat out, a 6-time world champion, just flat out job out to a rookie that we didn't know who he was at the time, with no build at all, that wouldn't have sat well at all. I don't think that would have worked, honestly. So that's why I wasn't upset at what Austin did with that. So, but yet and still, he did leave. But I forgive you, Austin. You're my dog. Last bad fact, which really isn't that bad of a fact. He came up flat in his rivalry with Bret the Hitman Hart. Austin and Bret Hart fought multiple times. In all contests, Bret Hart came out the victor. Austin has never defeated Bret Hart. He whooped Bret Hart's ass, but he's never defeated Bret Hart in a singles match. Of course, neither man is actively wrestling anymore, so that's not anything he can ever change. But with the legacy of Bret Hart, like I said, that's really nothing to be ashamed of. One of the most phenomenal things about Austin, he's one of the pioneers of the Attitude Era that helped win the Monday Night War for WWE. Austin brought a lot out of the product, and his popularity brought a lot of people over. Yes, that was a good thing about The Rock as well, but it was Austin 316 that pretty much started the victory roll for WWE, in my opinion. And that is 5 facts about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who is next? So, hands down, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, you know who Hulk Hogan is. Anybody who's anybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. He brought the popularity flat on. Now, 4 bad facts about Hulk Hogan. He made racist remarks during a sex tape that actually got him blackballed from WWE for a while. He made his return at WrestleMania last year, which I was there. Yeah, so that's one thing. And throughout his career, he was known for manipulating bookings. So regardless of how the good gracious. Regardless of how the outcome was, it was believed that Hogan would argue the outcome right before the match came up, because he felt like nobody was going to argue with him. And then we all saw what happened with the whole Shawn Michaels debacle, but we're not going to get into that. Another thing, finger poke of doom, which that was one thing, which probably it pretty much did lead to the downfall of WCW. Now, while that wasn't necessarily Hogan's idea, I think it was actually Dusty Rhodes or somebody's idea. Regardless of the fact, Hogan was the one that made the finger poke of doom. So that, to me, he's the one I see. That's what falls on. And early in his career, he was accused, and I think it was proven, that he abused anabolic steroids. Not only to beef up, but to take some pain away, let alone this. And I know pretty much everybody did it, but it was a known fact that Hulk Hogan definitely did that. And the phenomenal fact about Hogan, the last fact about Hogan, was what I said earlier. He made wrestling what it is today. He brought more popularity to wrestling than anybody else. He pretty much brought wrestling from the territorial days to a global phenomenon. Now, a lot of people credit Vince McMahon with that, which, yes, Vince McMahon does deserve credit with that, but Hulk Hogan was the poster boy for it. So he deserves almost as much credit as well, in my opinion. And that's 5 facts about Hulk Hogan. Now, who is next and who is last? The Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair. I ain't even gonna do the woo. So, 4 bad facts about Ric Flair. I hate to do this too, because I love Ric Flair too. I mean, I like all 5 of these guys, but you know, some of them are just near and dear to my heart. He had, I believe, 4 tumultuous marriages, whether it was cheating or just not being around. Yet, that's one not so great fact about him, and included with that, I don't know how accurate it is, but they were saying he slept with 10,000 women. Like I said, I don't know how true that is. Correct me in the comments if that's wrong. And let's see. Now, on one episode of, I think it was Raw or SmackDown. No, I believe it was Raw. There was a type of androgynous character in the Ruthless Aggression era with the sideburns named Rico. Now, though it wasn't a clean win, Flair lost to Rico. Rico hit him with some spin kick. Flair's foot was on the ropes and the ref didn't see it yet. The victory counted, and it was like it was just there, and it was like there was no point to that at all. Not a good look for me. But yes, he had a traffic incident, I believe. He had altercation with an individual, and I think he got out and he pulled the individual out of the car and started fighting him or something like that. I forgot how long ago that was, but that was well known. And it's still a dark time. That was in the news and everything. And now jet flying, limousine riding, shirt costs more than your entire mansion. All that stuff Ric Flair used to say was probably true, because the 4th bad fact is that he was notoriously bad with money. He did not know how to manage his money, and that became a problem. I don't know if gambling was involved, probably not, but yeah. Now, one phenomenal thing about Ric Flair, and he does it better than anybody else. Ric Flair, a well-known world champion, will go to your neighborhood or go to your territory, face your supremely lesser-known top contender, get in the ring with him, and make him look like a superstar. Ric Flair did that better than anybody else, and he was damn good at it. That's why Ric Flair is known as one of the greatest wrestlers ever. It's not just because he can wrestle, but he can make the other person he's wrestling look good. I've seen flashes of this from other superstars, but by far none like Ric Flair at all. That was a Fray 5, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys. I know it wasn't cool the way I left. For that, and for people who were upset or even cared, that, look, I apologize. I know Jimmy's doing his thing. He's doing a great thing, and he got a lot more spirits than I did. He called me up, asked me to help him. I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm done with it, but here's the thing. In a time like this where our future is uncertain with this virus going around, life is too short. So I can sit and be upset that I'm not getting any views or whatever, or I can just shut up and deal with it. That's what I'm gonna do. So Jimmy, I got you back, man. Alright, that is today's Fray 5. You have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace out. Please be careful out there.